Well, as you probably know, things have to come to an end. As you probably can guess, AEW Rampage is done. So the real question is, where do we go from there? But we're going to talk about what really happened on AEW Rampage. We had various matches taking place. We have Hook versus Nick Wayne. As you all know, Hook has his sights set on Christian Cage and various other things as well as they're taking place. And then, of course, we're going to see who levels up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling's much recent event back on the 21st of December. So Merry Christmas. So this one has many single matches and all this other stuff. So it's going to be very fun to enjoy. And then, of course, MARIGOLD continues with day 9 of Winter Wonderful Fight, and they return back in Korakuen Hall. This took place on the 26th of December. And there are some matches involving prelims that will lead until January 3rd. So that's going to be a lot of fun to look into. And then, of course, we cap up our episode with some news updates that give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Leaded Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Leaded Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe. Sorry. So if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have been said. I believe let's get this show on the road. So let's begin with our very first event review, and that is, of course, Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling. So, Merry Christmas! Okay, Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling with So Merry Christmas. This took place on the 21st of December. Now, I don't know the name of the venue, but it was at in Tokyo, in case anybody asked. So I forgot to write down the name of the venue, but yes, nothing too significant on this match. But of course, we always have like Sayuri Namba, who opened up the event, greeting the fans, giving the information about the event, what's going on with the matches, and of course we had the performance from the Up Up girls as usual. So that pretty much sets it all. Now, our first match, we have, well, majority of our matches are singles matches in case anybody asks. However, let's get started with that. Our first match, we have Ura Takami taking on Chika Maneze. Now, of course, you can guess that these girls are a bit more lesser than we expect. But the real question is who will try to pick up the win in this one. I wasn't too sure, but Chika Nanase actually picked up a pretty good win with a somewhat of a submission move. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but you just lift the person up in the air, and that kind of sets it up right there. So, um, not bad for a win. Our next match, we have Ivy Steels taking on Moka Miyamoto. Nothing too significant. Miyamoto, we have seen Ivy Steels made her debut recently. She was in a tag match, but eventually lost, and now she's in a singles competition taking on Moka Miyamoto, who has more experience than her, and she did pick up the win onto her when she applied a clutch onto her, and of course, Ivy Steels had no choice but to tap out. Our next match, we have Yoshiko Hasegawa taking on Mahiro Kiru. Um, of course, with the usual apologetic from Mahiro, you know how that rolls. But it was Mahiro with a strong spine buster onto Yoshiko, and just like that, it was over. Next up, we have Shino. We have Shino Suzuki taking on, of course, Raku. Yeah, Raku, as you know, always starts with the match going to sleep. You know that that's her usual uh, mind games, where you you don't know for sure if she's gonna play games with you, but of course, everybody falls for that trick every single time. But however, Raku walked away with the win when she applied Doctor Yellow, and just like that, it was over. Next up, we have Toga taking on the cutest in the world. We're talking about Maki Ito. So, of course, we have seen Toga recently has grown significantly. She made runner up in the Max tournament that took Max Heart tournament. However, she and of course the winner um, Haru Kazushito, they made it. They fought for the finals, but we of course did see those two team up against Ma- Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita. But however, the same results happen even in as a singles competition for Toga, thanks to Maki Ito applying a Texas Cloverleaf, and just like that, it was over. Our next match, well, I like to call this the Battle of the Yukis because we have two Yukis, well, three actually, but two of them are facing off: Yuki Aino and Yuki Kamifuku. So, however, these ladies are good at what they do. I mean, we have seen Yuki Aino how much she has grown. I mean, not to mention to pick up where her sister left off, Nonoka Temna. But we have seen how much she has grown significantly. I think there's no doubt in my mind that one day she will become the Princess champion. As for Yukami Fuku, even though she is tall, she has shown resilience. But not to mention, I was not too sure where this is going to end up. But unfortunately, this match ended in a time limit draw after 7 minutes. Now I know some of you are saying, wait a minute, J Rod, don't these matches last like 10 or 15 minutes? Yes, but this is Tokyo Super rules, so don't argue with them. So that's how it rolls. Our next match, this is one of two tag team matches we have on this particular day. We have Kaya Toribami teaming up with Machet all the way from Thailand from setup. They take on Imawari and our current setup Asian Women's Champion Pam Harajuku. Now, probably is no secret that you probably can guess. Is Machet there to regain her belt that she lost to Pam Harajuku? It's a possibility. I mean, there's no denying that that's possibly the case why she was there. But unfortunately, Machet got a bit of a measure of revenge towards Pam when she applied an Uranagi on her, and just like that, it was over. So I wouldn't be surprised that if Snapchat requests to have a title match for that belt in Tokyo Super Wrestling, since she lost it in her turf, she probably would think, I'd rather see Palm lose it in her turf. So that's something I think we could see down the line, but we'll just got to wait and see when it's official. Our next match, we have Haru Kazushito versus Hyper Misawa. Now, of course, our resident superhero with her usual tricks, as always. Now, we have seen Haru Kazushito, who is the winner of the Max Heart tournament, or should I know, the Next Gen tournament. I have to say she has grown significantly, but however, she has her work cut out when it comes to Hyper Misawa. I mean, not only she's a resident superhero, but she's the one who crosses the line on certain occasions. But unfortunately, that did not help for her because Misawa applied a ghetto clutch on her, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next match, this was a very interesting one. We have Rika Tatsumi versus Big Kaiju Shoko Nakajima. Um, I wasn't too sure how this was going to go. I mean, these two ladies are popular wrestlers in Tokyo Pro Wrestling. I was a bit biased on this one, but unfortunately, because of their popularity and however this match was going to go, it ended in a time limit draw of 7 minutes. So this is the second one so far that actually happened. Our next match, we have Mizuki versus the Pink Striker, Miyu Yamashita. Of course, we all think Miyu Yamashita could kick her head off. That's always been who we've seen her do. But I have to say, Mizuki has shown her resilience recently. I mean, if you guys remember when she and Yuka Sakazaki faced for the Princess title, she was telling Yuka to just don't hold back. But I think that's resilience from her. But unfortunately, this match for the third time ended in a time limit draw. So that's how it ended. Now, our next match, our secondary tag team match, we have Wakana Uhara and Zuzumi taking on Yuki Arai and our current Princess champion, Amai Miyu Watanabe. Now, however, there are factors of this match you many know. Those who know this, Yuki Arai is the current Princess International Champion, while Miyu Watanabe is our current Princess Champion. So either way, whoever makes a pinfall on one of these two competitors, they can initially catch an opportunity, and I think that's what it was. But there was a close call with Zuzumi when it claimed nearly trying to claim Miyu Watanabe for a shot of the Princess belt. Well, apparently this match ended in a 10-minute time limit draw, so just like that, it was over. So, I mean, Zuzumi was so close, but that's how things ended. So we'll see what happens down the line. So for now, we are done um with Tokyo Pro Wrestling. Let's move on with, of course, Marigold. Okay, Mighty Gold were their much recent event, continuing with day 9 of Winter Wonderful Fight. This took place recently on the 26th of December in Korakuen Hall. Now, as you know, we get closer and closer to their big event starting on January 3rd. But there are some matches involving preliminaries that would get us to there, so we'll get to that in a bit. Our first two matches, many of you may know, are two new rookies made their in ring debut. The first one, we have Nagisa Tachibana taking on Kizuna Tanaka. Now, of course, you would think, okay, what impression she can throw in. I mean, not to mention, we can say that Nagisa Tachibana, she is a cute girl, but however, can she pull off everything in the ring? She did hold her own, but unfortunately, this match ended with Kizuna Tanaka applying the Redream, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next match features another rookie, Ryoko um, Satomura, or no, Sokomura, something like that, faces off against Passion Nana Takahashi. So you would think, of course, Nana Takahashi, with her experience, she's going to pick up the win. And that's exactly what she did. She applied a submission. So even though we will see what Tachibana and Ryoko will do, we'll see what happens down the road. So we'll stay tuned for that. Our next match, we have tag team action. We have Yuki Minami teaming up with Naoya Wada to take on Komomo Minami and Rhea Seto. So basically, nothing too significant stories about that, except we only got the battle of the Minamis involved. However, we weren't too sure where this is going to go, but it was Rhea Seto who picked up the win when she pinned Now, and just like that, it was over. Our next match, we have Hummingbird taking on Misa Matsui. So, of course, these two ladies who are amazing. They challenge each other. I wasn't entirely sure where this is going to go either. Nothing too significant or storyline fits in on this one. But however, it was Mitsa Matsui that actually applied the win when she applied the stretch muffler onto, of course, Hummingbird, and just like that, she picked up the good win. Next up, we have Nao Ishikawa taking on Mirai. So, of course, this is where, of course, Nao Ishikawa has to pick up the pace, knowing that she's not facing no slouch. This is not an opponent you should take lightly. You know Mirai has a certain toughness that she refuses to give up. And I'm sure Nao Ishikawa has to channel that. But, however, it was Nao Ishikawa picked up, Mirai who picked up a very impressive win. I don't know exactly what she tried to apply, but it looked more like a modified version of the jackknife. But we'll see how that goes. Now, our next match, this was a very interesting one. We had Myla Grace and Bozilla taking on our current Twin Star Tag Team Champions, Chiaki and Nogisa Nozaki. However, many of you may guess this was the final time in MARIGOLD we will see Myla Grace. So, Nagisa decided, out of her generosity, she decided to give her a last opportunity for a shot of the tag belt. So basically, this match was supposed to be a non-title match. So it was later overturned into a title match. And I think this was a good opportunity for Myla Grace. But unfortunately, you know that, when it comes to Nagisa Nozaki and Chiaki, they like to play dirty. I mean, use whatever weapons they can find, take the fight outside the ring, however way possible. But unfortunately, it was Chiaki who picked up the win on Myla Grace, and practically this will be the last time we ever get to see her. There's no telling we ever see her, but I wouldn't be surprised, much like we saw with Zeta Steel, we could possibly see her down the road, maybe being part of the WWID. Who knows? But we'll see. Now, our main event, this is part of a preliminary matches for singles matches taking place. We have Chika Goto and Mai Sakurai and Utami Ayashida taking on our champions. Kyoki Omori, our current GHC Women's Champion. Miku Ano, our current MARIGOLD United National Champion. And then, of course, Suri, our current MARIGOLD World Champion. So you can guess, Chika Goto will be challenging Kyoki Omori versus the GHC Women's title. Of course, Mai Sakurai for the white belt against Miku Ano, and not to mention the Utami Ayashida with the crimson belt against Suri. So basically, you can see the factors of this match. Who's who going to be faced? However, the preview went into, of course, Suri applying the Uranagi on Utami Ayashida. But the real question is, will all three ladies retain the belt, or is a possibility that one or two or maybe all of them could lose their belts? So we'll see what happens, because each of the champions gave a promo to their upcoming opponents. Suri to Utami, Miku Ano to Sakurai, and of course Kyoki to Chika. So that's something we will see down the road. But for now, we'll leave things as it is and move on with our next review. And it's, of course, the last time we'll ever get to see AEW Rampage. Okay, AEW Rampage. We had a lot of fun. And it's interesting what you guys don't know. Apparently, I'm going to put this out in a moment. Many of you may remember WCW Thunder. Some people say that AEW Rampage has exceeded the amount of episodes. Let me pull that up real quick, because I saw that recently and I think it's true. We have already seen how much it exceeded for a time. Let me see. Yes, here it is. WCW Thunder lasted about 156 episodes. As for Rampage, well, that's the interesting story. It lasted up to 177 episodes. So I have to say, not bad. So it exceeded that way as well. But of course, like anything, all things have come to an end. So how do we start? Well, of course, the so-called King of New York, Chris Jericho, takes on one half of the Acclaim, Anthony Bowens. Now, it seems the match was going great as it started. However, when it comes to Jericho, you know that big dumb brute, Big Bill, and the so-called Bad Apple, Brian Keith, will definitely get involved. Luckily for Bowens, he has Max and Billy Gunn by his side. But unfortunately, we did see effing Brian Keith gets involved. He was intending to use the belt on Bowens, but Max Caster intended to stop him. But unfortunately, he did not foresee what was going to happen. He accidentally hit Anthony Bowens with the belt, and of course, costing Bowens the match and allowing Jericho to pick up the pinfall. So I don't know what's going to happen from here on out. There's been talks recently about the possibility of the Acclaim splitting. Who knows? We'll see. Our next match, we have Private Party versus Alec Price and Leo Sparrow. As you probably can guess, Private Party are building up momentum until they face their opponents, Leo Rush and Action Andretti. They did pick up a good win against Price when they applied the gin juice, but it was Mark Quinn who picked up the pinfall. But of course, right in the middle of the post match, Leo Rush and Action Andretti showed up. But of course, Private Party hasn't forgotten the sneak attack that these guys did to them. And then Top Flight showed up. So basically, all hell broke loose in this whole thing. So we will see what happens until then. Now, Powerhouse House put out a video promo talking about Takeshita, talking about how nobody, especially Takeshita, never called him, saying how was he doing after he was injured. So basically, he has a bit of a bitterness over that, and I don't blame him because it's true. Why did Don Callis check up on him? So that's their fault. But we will see what happens. Our next match, we have Thunder Rosa versus Layla Gray. As you know, Thunder Rosa is going to challenge against Mariah May for the AEW Women's World title at World's End. So that's going to be interesting. However, Thunder Rosa walked away with the win with the Cobra Clutch, and that's how it ended. Now, our main event, it features Hook and Nick Wayne. However, of course, that so-called idiot, Christian Cage, Kip, and Shauna Wayne showed up, and apparently they got caught in a cookie jar, and the ref evicted all three idiots. So Nick Wayne, as you know, was smart enough to attack Hook's injured hand, and that's exactly what he aimed for. But when things were not going Nick Wayne's way, Kip Sabian and Christian Cage showed up to make sure things go Wayne's way. Apparently, Shibata showed up with a 2x4, chasing those two jokers out, scaring Nick. But however, Nick Wayne was about to apply the Wayne's World, but it failed until it went into, of course, a red rum. So the real question is this the fate of Christian Cage for what he put his father through? Well, we'll see what happens. However, the program didn't end there. Of course, Death Riders were shown what was exactly happening. Apparently, they attacked Darby Allin because they hadn't forgotten that Darby Allin cost Claudia Castelloni a chance to win of the Continental Classic. But later they went to the ring. All hell was breaking loose when there was attacks coming left and right. Of course, the opponents for Jon Moxley in a four-way showed up. Will Nagel taking on Athena. And then, of course, this is where things were going crazy. A lot of members of the roster just came out, both heels and baby faces. And then, of course, we did see Pac destroy like some sort of mixture with controlling the lights. And then, of course, Jon Moxley acting like he thinks he's some kind of hero, saying that he will bring peace to AEW because he cannot let the chaos go. I'm like, come on, dude. You let the chaos run, but sooner or later, someone's going to have to take him down. So we'll see what happens down the road from there. So we'll see. So I think this is it for AEW Rampage, but there's more to it that we'll get to. So I'll explain more a little bit on the of course, what was it? Oh yeah, on the end of this video. So let's move on with NXT Level Up. Okay, NXT Level Up. So let's find out who levels up on this one. Our first match is a 6-woman tag match. We have Wendy Chu, Callie Armstrong, and Lainey Reed taking on Carly Bright, Kendall Gray, and Layla Diggs. Now remember, this whole mess happened because Layla Diggs did not like the fact that Lainey Reed has been cheating his way through. And of course, Lainey Reed has feeling like, I beat you, okay? It's like she thinks that cheating doesn't mean nothing. But, however, it does. But the real question, how will this go on? So many people join in the fight. You know, Lainey Reed had Carly Armstrong, then Wendy Chu. But as for Layla Diggs, she had Carly Bright, then Kendall Gray. So everything sets up for the storyline. However, this match ended with um, Layla Diggs applying a scissor kick onto Lainey Reed, and 1, 2, 3, it was over. So, just like that, Layla Diggs got a bit of measure of payback, and we'll see how it goes. So we'll see what happens the following week. Now, our next match is a gauntlet match that was set up by none other than Dante Chen, the gatekeeper. Now, he put himself in this position because he is welcoming it. So his first opponent was a Keanu Carver. Now, this match, he was like being brutalized no matter what. But however, what gave him the leverage in this match, he managed to get Carver to go through the turnbuckle, and then he rolled him up. 1, 2, 3, it was over. So just like that, he picked up his win. Now his next opponent, it was Harlem Lewis. Harlem Lewis, oh my God, he was brutalizing him in every way possible. But however, it took a bit of strength for, of course, Dante Chen to get everything back on track, and then applied the gentle touch, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he's out. And then our final opponent is Cale Dixon, someone who has been trying to prove his worth. He faced against, of course, Dante. But however, you ask yourself, Dante has already gone through matches. How much energy does it have? Of course, this is one of those crucial moments where does he have the energy to continue on? Well, he tried to pull off a Hulk Hogan, where of course you've seen the Hulkster where he has that look on his face like, "Come on, keep at me." But that's exactly what happened. But Dante Chen once again applied the gentle touch, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. So he did a fantastic job with the gauntlet, so I can't wait to see what else he's going to do. But for now, we'll end things here with all the reviews and move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with updates with upcoming events. We only have 2 of them. The first one, as you know, we have the Thank Me Later event on January 11, 2025 in Columbus, Ohio for GCW. It was revealed that Violence is Forever, Kevin Koo and Dominic Garrini will face off against a very unusual pairing. Used to be friends, but now enemies, Effie and Mance Warner. So that's an interesting match to look into. And then finally, WreatlePro will do their upcoming event, WrestlePalooza, on the 17th of January. The WrestlePro women's title is defended. Lady Frost defends her belt against Rebecca Scott. So that's pretty much what's happening. Now for our for some developments. By the time this video is out, her birthday's already passed. We're talking about, of course, Yuka Sakazaki, the magical girl. Yes, it's happy birthday. We want to give congratulations to Shannon Stacks Lorenzo and Arianna Grace for their engagement. So many of you don't know this. Stacks and Arianna were in a relationship, and now they're officially engaged. They shared this on their social media. I haven't heard anything what her dad would say, Santino, but I'm sure he is proud of his daughter. So congratulations, guys. Now, many of you know this. There is a promotion that's run by a local promoter here in San Diego, but does his events in LA. Kitsune Women's Wrestling. Well, as you know, Yuna Manaze is the current world champion. Well, she defended her belt recently in an event and lost the belt to Michiko. So I don't know what the promoter would think. I don't know if she'll be able to come down to the States. We'll see what happens. Now, Sean Rossett put up an interesting report regarding Jordynne Grace. It's been told now that her TNA contract runs until January, during Genesis weekend. So basically, that'll be the last time we see her. But now it's been said by the time she's a free agent, that's around the time we'll jump into Royal Rumble. So basically, the timing will be perfect for her, and I think many fans will see her sign with WWE in no time. This is something that many people, especially wrestlers who know about her, that she most likely will join WWE and possibly jump the main roster. So we'll see where that goes. Dragon Gate has announced a new signee. Ho Ho Loon has now signed officially with Dragon Gate. However, for years, Ho Ho Loon has been more of a freelancer, you know, appearing in Dragon Gate, but now he's officially part of the roster. Now, finally, AEW Collision announced, of course, that our WWE Hall of Famers, the Rock and Roll Express, will be making their appearance in AEW Collision. So I'm looking forward to see what the Rock and Roll Express. It's been a while since we've seen them together, so that's going to be a lot of fun to enjoy. So I think that's pretty much it. What's going to happen? So let's call it a day. All right. So I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you probably can guess, there is no AEW Collision due to the fact we have the World's End event. I most likely will be reviewing that when it happens. I haven't decided any other events just yet. I know there's a much recent Sunday Girls event and a GLEAT event, so I'm behind on those and certain others. So we'll see how things will progress from here on out. But for now, we'll work our way up from however we need to go to. So we'll leave things as it is at this moment. But AEW World's End is a priority. That's something that has not changed whatsoever. But for now, we'll leave things at like that, and then we'll move forward. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.